Seattle's queer community and allies are condemning law enforcement action over the weekend they describe as a series of police raids on gay bars. Now, among other enforcement, 4 gay bars were inspected by agents from the State Liquor and Cannabis Enforcement Division with help from the Seattle Department's Joint Enforcement Team. Bargoers claim that they watched as multiple uniformed police officers entered these businesses and started shining flashlights and taking photographs of customers. Now, while authorities insist they did not conduct formal raids, the Seattle gay community is calling BS. The Liquor and Cannabis Board says inspectors noted instances of lewd conduct, including customers dressed in jockstraps and one bartender exposing his nipple. Otherwise, no official violations were issued. In swift response, Seattle's queer community is galvanized in their demand for dignity and justice.
If your goal is public safety, then who did the nipple hurt?
It is state-sponsored revenge porn. You're going to get the lives of gay men in danger.
This was a raid, plain and simple.
Public comment during Washington Liquor and Cannabis Board meeting Wednesday emblazoned critical outcry against unjust, targeted homophobic police actions.
I've spent my entire adult life and career here in Seattle wondering why our existence is intrinsically illegal or offensive, and fearing action against what would be our basic rights.
The LCB is the friend of no one. They are the enemy, all right? They are anti-machine, they're anti-gay machine, they are an anti-humanity machine.
I've been all over to many gay bars and all over the place in multiple countries, and Friday was actually the first night where I've actually felt threatened.
Commenters lambasted the LCB, citing an officer's prerogative for discretion in enforcement and the agency's glaring double standard.
Clearly, you can disregard federal law when it comes to cannabis, so you can disregard state laws when it comes to Prohibition-era laws about titties and jockstraps in gay bars.
There have been record numbers of anti-gay and anti-trans legislation sweeping America in recent years.
These were raids. Stop calling them visits.
Columnist Dan Savage says this kind of enforcement only emboldens hatred when LCB enforcement is triggered by anonymous reporting.
The message sent to anti-LGBT bigots all across the country, and the message sent was, if they're raiding gay bars in Seattle, if they're harassing gay men for being shirtless in gay bars in Seattle, we are winning. The bigots are winning, and we need to redouble our efforts.
We're eager to have these conversations and figure out what is the right thing to do.
LCB Board Chair David Postman himself apologized for his own comments.
Don't let my comments lead anyone to believe that anybody at the leadership of this agency or on this board is ignorant of the struggles of gay and lesbians in the world.
But one commenter blasted the board's intention to consult with legislators when reconsidering current regulations.
I also challenge you to take stock of any internalized biases you have, bureaucratic or otherwise, because when it comes to tangible solutions, there is a difficulty getting past concern for how happy legislatures would be with you and a commitment to historically harmful and inappropriate procedures that put people's lives in danger.
The LCB released a statement after enforcement stating in part the visits were routine and the agency does not emphasize patrols at gay venues. But a gay club owner in Bellingham shared his experience over the last decade that places doubt on that claim.
We received 285 visits from the LCB. That is 1,555% higher than the average. And that to me is egregious. I mean, numbers don't lie. 1,550% is an insane difference from the average.
More than half a century ago, police raided New York City's Stonewall Inn, now seen as a catalyst for gay liberation. Nearly 55 years later, the queer community in Seattle reminds regulators they won't back down.
It's the entire queer community that is at risk with the behaviors and models of enforcement that you are pushing forward under the guise of archaic laws.
And I will politely give you a needed history lesson that events such as the Compton's Cafeteria riots, the Black Cat riots, and the Stonewall riots have proven that when push comes to shove, a group of queers can accomplish a lot more in a pair of heels than any officer can withstand in ugly flats.
Now, part of Seattle's queer community believes some of the longer-term impacts of these raids could be the photographs that were taken during those investigations. They worry those pictures could end up part of a public disclosure once this investigation concludes, putting those patrons at further risk. And Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell's office released a statement insisting his administration will not target people based on their sexuality, and he understands the community's concern. On Capitol Hill, Steve Kiggins,